my name is Vanessa Lech, and today's video is going to be about a topic that I care a lot about, and I used to do a lot of videos about, and I stopped. I did podcasts, I did videos years and years and years ago, and then I stopped because it was just a very stressful topic, and still is. That topic is the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, an organization that I have a very storied history with, to say the very least. And so today I've already done a number of videos on this topic, and I've just decided, like, this is my destiny and my fate, by default of having joined the military many years ago when I was young, and, that whole situation, that whole history there. And, I've decided to do these videos, yeah, because I've accepted my fate and destiny, but also because of the fact that I believe that I need to really advocate for change and really need to advocate in a way that is constructive and meaningful for other veterans as well. I'm not speaking for other veterans. Everyone's experience is totally unique, 100%, but want to raise awareness about different topics related to the military community, specifically the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. And so I am going to just briefly touch upon some things today that I experienced today, literally, very real time. And I'm going to continue to do basically a video series / podcast on these topics. So if you're interested, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I gotta cater to the YouTube's algorithm so that it doesn't die at the bottom of the internet barrel. And please like the video and share if you feel so inclined to do so, okay? Just want to let you know that this is just for general information, educational, whatever purposes only, doesn't establish a relationship of any kind whatsoever, clinically or otherwise. I am not a lawyer, by the way. I think one day I'll go to probably law school, but I don't want to even practice law or be a lawyer or any of that. I don't want to get a law license, nothing. Okay. So I'm going to start doing kind of more of these informal kind of quick hitter videos, which this may not be so quick, I don't know. Okay, so there's basically something called community care. And it's basically where military veterans, certain eligible ones, can receive healthcare outside the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs facilities and whatnot, and outside healthcare providers in the community, literally community care, okay? And there's been multiple laws over the last number of years that cover this type of service, essentially. And it's been born out of the many controversies and issues that the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs has had with their military veterans for, basically ever. It's since longer than I've even been alive, like forever, essentially. And I'm not even capable of covering all of that in great detail because that would be like a never-ending story to talk about. But I am going to cover some key points and takeaways today that are on my radar, and I'm going to be doing a lot more of these videos. I've decided, but I have to pace myself because talking about this organization really stresses me out because I have a storied history with the organization. I used to work for them many years ago, for a couple years. I can't unexperience what I saw, what I experienced there. It really opened my eyes to how the organization operates and how it thinks, and I will never trust the organization again as a result. Okay, so let's see. There is one specific bill called, it says I don't even know if I'm saying that right because I'm not aware, S.2372-VA Mission Act of 2018, okay? And I'm going to link in the description below this video, and it's also going to be this podcast, exactly what this bill says. I'm actually going to post this today and get this out there because I want this to be out there in real time, okay? All right, so basically, I have decided after many years of avoiding the VA to go back to the VA for my services, healthcare stuff, okay? And I have made different choices that work for me about that. And so part of the healthcare I have chosen to receive at the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs by my choice because I feel it's in my best interest and I have confidence at this point in time and the healthcare providers and support staff that I have chosen to interact with, and it has been a very favorable experience, okay? And then the other portion, after an experience I had at the VA recently, I have decided I don't have any faith or confidence in this other area, and I've decided I want to go out into the community and receive that care there. All right. So I was given a referral to do so for my primary care provider. And that referral was denied, I found out today, by I think 2 different people in the healthcare facility, but I'm not 100% on that. And basically, it appears that they're trying to be like, oh, we have that here, so you should go here. But it's like, I don't want to go there because I went there and I'm not happy with it. And I don't trust this organization anyways, due to my experiences with this organization as it is. And now, like this, I've had this experience and I don't want to go back, and I'm not going back, period. And so then I went ahead and started to do a little bit of research regarding current legislation for the military community that pertains to the military veterans that would be eligible to receive healthcare from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. Okay. And healthcare can be anything. It can be like, a checkup. It could be like an x-ray. It can be anything. Like healthcare, as you know, runs a gamut. It can be a vaccine. It can be anything. Like everyone should be getting healthcare from birth to death, basically, in order to maintain health and in order to really take care of oneself. Like that's super important to do that. No matter who you are, like we should all be really looking out for our own well-being and health and making sure we're in good health. Okay. So anyways, the legislation says many things, the VA Mission Act of 2018, and I'm not going to get into like all of it because it is big and it's long, and that's why I'm including the link. So if you want to check it out, please do so. Okay. All right. It states here, it says note criteria. And this is basically saying, again, I'm not a lawyer, I don't have a law degree. This is information anybody can find online. Okay. I'm just a military veteran that is just advocating for myself and researching for myself and sharing with the world at this point, basically. Okay. All right. And so it says here, the covered veteran and the covered veterans referring clinician agree that furnishing care and services through a non-department entity or provider would be in the best medical interest of the covered veteran based upon criteria developed by the secretary. Okay. So it's basically like, my understanding of that for like my situation is that basically my provider and I agree that this is a good plan of action. And so I should be able to go and do that essentially because I am a covered veteran. Okay. And this is like within the realm of that law. All right. And so I have so many thoughts basically I want to share about all of this. And so some of my thoughts are, many years ago, before these laws existed where veterans could actually seek services outside of the VA, I was actually advocating online, video, podcast, all the things that I believed, and I still do, that military veterans should be able to choose when, where, and who provides their health care. Bottom line, end of story. Okay, that's what I believe. Still do. It just makes sense. Because when you are a captive audience, and your business does not have to be earned, that becomes a real big problem, okay? And right now we're in a situation where it appears, based upon the information I read in this law, there's a lot of loopholes where potentially the VA can try to, in my opinion, impede progress and interfere with the military veterans' choice about where, who, how their health care is being provided. And that, in my opinion, is a serious issue because military veterans deserve the right to informed consent. Military veterans should deserve the right to make choices about their health care and have those choices and their wishes respected, period. And I am really good at advocating for myself, I've come to realize, so I think anyways, because I seem to get stuff accomplished sometimes for myself, that I don't think that all people in the military community, military veterans are as successful or as able, maybe, I don't know, because when I communicate with the people at the VA, they always seem kind of surprised that I actually have a clue about these different kinds of things. And I actually did contact the VA today and I informed them of what I just stated, that, legally, like, I have this right and that this right should not be denied, and that I am asking to escalate this issue to receive that referral that has already been provided to me. But I really view the VA as being in a conflict of interest position, in my humble opinion, with veterans' choices to receive healthcare outside of the VA system. And the reason that I feel this way is because, from working at the VA many years ago, as well as being a veteran that had periodically received healthcare services from the VA often through the years, my overall impression is that the VA employees, some of them, specifically I think management, get very nervous about this concept of veterans being able to vote with their feet, so to speak, meaning like pick where they go for their healthcare services and whatnot, or whatever. And I think that's because they're very concerned about not being able to keep their supersized facilities open and them not being needed anymore, those facilities, and needing to basically lay off staff that are no longer being in demand and in need to be there any longer. And that is my impression because of how what I hear and what I see through the years whenever this is brought up. This is the impression I'm getting. This is my takeaway, okay? Once again, my impression, my opinion, my perspective. And if that's the case, then so be it. Because at the end of the day, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs was not created to build supersized facilities and to have executive suites that look like just so epic and so massive and so gorgeous and overlooking skylines. The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs was not designed to be, some elite type thing where executives and managers who are not even in many cases affiliated with the military receive these large, bloated in many cases, salaries and benefits, okay? The U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs was designed to serve military veterans and their healthcare needs. That's what it was designed for. So if it does not serve that interest, then it should not be allowed to continue onward. Period. So the natural progression is that veterans are choosing to receive healthcare elsewhere because it serves their best interest. Then by God, so be it. So if people need to be laid off, if facilities need to be closed, then by God, so be it. If that's what veterans choose. We as veterans, the veterans out there should have the right to choose. I've been saying this for years, and I'm not going to stop saying it because it's the truth. A part of receiving healthcare is being comfortable with where you're receiving your healthcare, with who is providing your healthcare, and when that healthcare is received. That is a part of respecting a person's wishes and informed consent, being able to have the information to provide that informed consent. And being a captive audience to any VA so that they can keep serving their managers, their executives, their payroll is not right. This is not an employment system, or at least it shouldn't be. This is a Veterans Affairs healthcare system. That's what this is. Further, and when I look at the law, I just think to myself, how is it that this referral was denied? Because I just read the law, and based upon what I read in my unique situation, it should not have been denied. And so, for me, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, I haven't had as bad of experiences with them as some people have, but I've had extremely challenging experiences. Let's just put it that way. Experiences that are unforgettable, okay? And I don't trust the organization, and I never will again. I watch my back with this organization, and I always will. And, I just think to myself, how many of these referrals are getting denied and veterans don't even maybe know their rights, or, know that they should or can speak up, or know where the law is located, the link to the law, where online to look for it. I just typed in several things and started Googling and searching and finding and doing all the things. And I was able to kind of sort through it pretty quick, but I also keep my eyes on the law as it pertains to the military community because it's super relevant. It's super relevant. It just is. And if you're interested in the law as well, there is a legal law channel that I'm a huge fan of called CCK Law. I'm going to link it above my head. And they actually, one of the things I love about their channel is they actually do legal reviews about new law coming out that affects military community and military veterans. And they just did that regarding a new like COVID legislation type law that just happened recently. It was pretty cool. And they also did so recently with regard to the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, I think it's called. So that was pretty cool. So if you're interested in those topics, you might want to check out their channel. You know, they have a huge following, and rightfully so. They've been on I think this platform for a really long time for YouTube. Anyway, so those are my thoughts today. I'm going to follow up with this basically about, you know, what my experiences are moving forward with what I choose to share. I just have a lot of different thoughts, and so I'm kind of curious to see how things go. And that's it. So if you have experiences specifically with community care, I'd love to hear about it. Of course, just know that all your comments and all your comments, whether they're written or verbal, like if you leave a message for the podcast, they're public. They're public, okay? It's all public information, like for the whole world to know and see permanently, okay? So just be aware of that if you're going to share any of your stuff online. But I am just curious about, you know, other people's experiences with this and thoughts and stuff. And I know that the VA has a real mismanagement problem, shocker, okay, with regard to community care historically, with reimbursing people and just so much drama. Oh my God, I was reading about it online with different past issues and audits, and I think the Office of Inspector General, I think, was involved with the Veterans Affairs Organization, and just like so much drama. But anyway, so that's all I have today for this specific topic. I wish you all the best. Love to hear your thoughts. Bye.